Hey, welcome to Idiom Proof again. We've got Brendan as always.
Always.
But what I find is I normally talk to Brendan and then we have a guest and then we forget about them and you're watching going, who's this guy? We know Brendan.
Start with that guy, it's fine.
Yeah, so we're going to start this way. We have a guest and his name is Jasper.
Jasper.
G'day.
Hey, mate.
Tell us something fascinating about you.
Well, we could just start with I live in a brothel, an ex-brothel.
As you do.
That's a good clarification.
Yeah.
So tell us about that. What leads you to be living in an ex-brothel?
Wait, was it a brothel when you first got there and then they converted?
No. It's been my old man bought the building about 10 years ago, and it was a brothel then.
Yeah.
And I originated as like sort of the sheet boy. Like
Sheet.
I'd put the bed sheets into the washer.
Wait, it was while it was still a brothel?
Yeah, while it was still a brothel, an active brothel, the Kensington. If anyone wants to search it up.
Wait, how long did you work there for?
I don't know, it lasted maybe a month
Wow.
under the ownership. So yeah, probably about that.
Wait, so you bought it was
yeah.
purchased, and then you just had to see its lease out, basically?
Pretty much, yeah. And then there was an option for renewal, but you know,
You decided not to.
As that industry goes, yeah, it all fell apart. I think I wasn't really too involved in it as much. I just concentrated on my job and did it to the highest degree possible, you know. And
So we're mortgage advisors, right? So we advise people not to take on properties
or
that
risk.
that already have people living in them, because
Yeah.
it's really hard to sometimes get rid of those clients or the people who are staying there.
Yeah.
But that's a whole
Yeah.
And even harder to get a reputation, I would imagine.
yeah. Well, yeah, obviously my old man didn't have you guys at the time, or didn't listen to the people that would be you guys in that situation. So
that's
So
fascinating.
what's your guys' connection? What brings you here, Jasper? Why did this guy ask you to come on board?
So we're bonded through Paniki blood, black and red.
Nice.
So fitting that we've got the shirt on, just by coincidence. And that's sort of how we've met, and we've been, sort of on the field together. And obviously just, conversations through training and stuff like that, we've found that this is possibly a great place to find each other, outside of the rugby field.
Possibly, that's the key.
It could
We'll
be.
decide.
To be
We'll see.
confirmed.
The next half an hour and a half will tell.
It worked well on the rugby field.
Did
Yeah.
it?
So why would it not work
Of
now?
course. What position do you play?
I'm prop or hooker.
Are you?
Fitting,
Nice.
isn't it?
For the place you've been living at?
Yeah, that's it. So,
Oh, well, that's excellent.
yeah, it's
A
all meant to be.
multi-use title. Good.
Brendan,
Yes.
do we have to talk about your walk?
Yes, we do.
This is the last time.
Okay.
So he did the walk of the country, like he just got back. He literally
Really?
walked from the top to the bottom. Every
Yeah.
time we're here, I have to say, how are your feet today?
Yeah, they're getting better, but I haven't
4 months.
I haven't changed my
4 months.
food intake as much as I should have.
Oh.
So I'm a little stressed about that. So I'm putting on weight. So I've got to either start exercising more or stop eating as much. And I think I need to do a bit of both. So that's my biggest concern right now, Lance.
Would you like us each time we do one of these to ask about your diet?
Could
instead of
you
your
ask me
walking?
how much I'm weighing today? I'd really
Yeah.
love that.
Or we could guess.
Yeah, no, that's
Okay.
So this is probably the last time we need to have this conversation.
How heavy do you think Brendan is?
I'm 6 foot, bang on 6 foot, so 184 centimetres.
That's okay. So 6 foot.
Yeah.
Bang on. Oh, I'm gonna go 78.
I should be 78. I'm just over that right now. So
Oh, okay.
78 would be all right for
pretty
me.
good.
82?
Yeah, about that.
Ah, that's my second guess.
Yeah, that's good.
But I need to be 78, so there's my goal.
We don't need to be.
No, I know, but I think I feel, just better.
Yeah, well, that's very interesting because at work we've got our own thing where we've sort of done like a body mass index scan.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
We've been
BMI?
doing those.
Yeah.
Yeah, BMI. So I thought I was just by far the fittest, just by a mile in the office. And
Based
it
on
turns out,
height and weight?
yeah, and it turns out I thought I was just a muscly, stocky dude.
But you're moderately obese, is that right?
That's correct. Turns out I was 30% body fat. 30%. So it's been a race to sort of drop. Yeah, that's what we've been doing is a race to drop. So I've got down
really?
to 27,
Are you-
26.
Have you got like a target?
Yeah, well, I'd love to get to 12. I'd love to be a Lance Sherman.
So, but
go a
the
little
BMI doesn't distinguish between fat and muscle. So are you
Yeah.
doing something more sophisticated than that? Because you said, how do you know you're 30% fat?
Just done on, so they haven't done that caliper stuff, They've just weighed you and done your height. Is that how they've done it?
Yeah, but then you hold on to like the thing and it runs
Oh,
like
they've got that.
electromagnetics
Oh, the water.
through your thing.
Does
yeah.
it? And that can work out.
Yeah, and
Oh,
it
really?
sort of differentiates. And it's, you know, I mean, I've really been trying. So to say I've dropped 3%
Awesome.
and I thought it was a little bit off, but we're just going to keep going and keep at
That's
it.
cool.
You know, so...
So who brought that up? Was it just a healthy work thing?
It's sort of a healthy... Yeah, well, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, because everyone was just like, no, there's no way you're beating me.
Yeah,
And I was just looking at it, I was going, I can't believe we're seeing something different here.
That's actually a really cool, healthy thing, because in your space, there's potentially been a lot of people who, for a physical job, are actually a little less in shape than you would think they could
definitely.
be, potentially.
Yeah, 100%.
So but in your space, I don't think so. So you
sorry.
labour hire?
Yeah, we're
Blue-collar
labour
hire.
yeah, blue collar labour hire. So you're very physical,
Yeah.
on the job, 24/7, active, sweating,
Yeah.
ready to go.
But you're grabbing food, you're just grabbing and going, right? And so whatever you grab,
yeah, exactly.
not always the most
and you can see
healthy.
that's where it slips, isn't it? Because
Yeah.
when you've just done a day of shifting jib,
Yeah.
yeah,
you know,
fully.
and you're not thinking about water intake and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
you're eating Z pies and
Yeah, of course.
you know. It's
I think it's cool. Though. It sounds
Yeah.
like and it sounds like you're doing it right.
Yeah.
Like as in you do,
Yeah.
hey, we're doing it as a team thing. It's not a shame
Yeah,
thing. It's
yeah,
like literally
exactly.
what
Yeah.
this could actually be really awesome for us.
Yeah,
So I think that's cool.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Well, on that, we're going to talk about the first idiom.
Yeah.
And that would be you, Brendan. What is it?
Okay, so the question, Lance, is it acceptable to use this idiom, given where it's from? Okay, so my idiom today is flipping the bird, right? So we now know that that's an example. I've just flipped you the bird,
Yeah.
right?
Hurts.
Jasper?
Yeah.
Flipped you the bird.
Oh, controversial.
So there's two bits to this, right? So the first is the actual act of putting your middle finger up, okay, which I'll stop doing very shortly. But that first came about over 2,500 years ago. So it was first recorded
wow.
in ancient Greece, and it's been written about. So the act of giving the middle finger as an insult, and then the Romans took, I love the Roman phrase for it, digitus imputicus, the shameless finger.
The shameless.
Shameless finger. So that was where the act came from, and it's a phallic symbol, right? So it's kind of representing the male genitalia, and so that's where it. As lots of insults are, often they're kind of like sex-based, right? Completely different to flipping the bird, the phrase. And so in the 1800s in the US, kind of in vaudeville on stage, the phrase was giving the bird. And when you gave someone the bird, it means they're a bit terrible at the acting or whatever. So you booed them or you hissed them, like you hissed like a goose sometimes. So that was called giving them the bird, right?
Yeah.
And so in the 1960s, these two things came together, and the act of putting your middle finger up linked with the phrase flipping the bird, and that's how it kind of came about.
You've connected a dot for me that I should have figured out.
Which was? Oh, you never thought that was a phallic symbol?
No, even though you would say what goes with that.
Yeah.
So you'd say FU to go with it, right?
Yes.
Which I then should have connected the dots. Because
Yes.
you're actually saying it as well.
Yes.
And I didn't think.
But it's interesting, so ever since 2,500 years ago, that was a phallic symbol. So that was a kind of a symbol of, stick that kind of.
Yeah, but I heard that also it means it's supposed to look like a bird.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
it's
that's
like-
what I got as well.
But it doesn't.
Yeah, see, so cause that's when I was researching this, is when I was looking at it and I was going, this one's totally crazy.
Yeah.
Because there's so many ways, and then I started thinking about, well, how do I actually do it? And then I figured,
yeah, yeah.
I figured I'd do it like that,
Yeah, well, some people do that one.
right? And then going back to that Greek thing,
Yeah.
is that it was meant to be like that. So that's your nuts,
Yeah.
and that's it.
That makes more sense.
So that's the side view.
Okay.
And that was the nuts. And then,
Do you know what though?
Yeah.
My son's been doing this one, which even looks even more.
that guy should probably get himself checked out. There's something not right
His
there.
ratios are out.
Yeah.
That looks more like what you would find in
Prostate
Greek,
cancer.
like in the
mythology?
like the
in the hieroglyphics.
yeah,
I think
yeah.
that's Egyptian, but
no,
in
like
hieroglyph.
the
Greek.
statue of David and things like
okay.
that, where the penises are really small.
Yeah, we go to Corey Cemetery. That's got that stuff. There's all sorts of statues on graves like that. Yeah. Yeah, I grew up there.
I'm glad you found something else to do with your evenings now. So that's encouraging. You've come to the right place.
Yeah.
So I think that's a worldwide offensive symbol, right?
Yeah.
So it's worldwide. If you gave that to anybody, I think any culture in the world is going to see that as offensive, right? Because it's interesting. Because in New Zealand, like in the last 50 years, the two-finger salute was also a thing.
Yep.
Right, but that's more of a kind of a Commonwealth thing. So you're going to find that in the UK, in New Zealand, Australia, whereas lots of other parts of the world that's different. But it's not used as much, the two fingers, is it? With the palm in, because the palm out is peace, which is ironic. You flip the palm, and that historically has also been a very similar kind of offensive symbol.
I think because you're younger, that this would never have been offensive to you. It would have just been funny. Is that,
Well, that's funny that's funny that it got brought up, because I remember when I was young.
Yeah.
I was born in 2002.
Yeah.
You are,
Yeah.
So, that was, my mum always told me, you can't do that, or you can't do that.
Yeah.
And then probably maybe like 5 years after, like 2007, 2008. I don't know. I'm just chucking that timeline out there, but like that's just, I felt like I could still do that at home and not get told off.
Yeah, it was it was softer, eh?
Because it meant nothing.
It is softer. It's definitely softer.
But it's just, what does it mean? What does that mean?
Did you look that up at all?
No, I didn't.
I did, and I've talked about this before, and it's not true. But the whole idea was, and I think this is why it was more of a Commonwealth thing, something influenced by Britain, because of. They talked about the English longbowers. So in the old days, they would shoot with a longbow. Finger. Yeah, because you hold the arrow like that with the two fingers.
Yeah.
And so the idea or the story goes that when they got caught, the longbowers got caught, they would cut their finger off, and then they're like, and so what they're saying is, I've still got my fingers, so I'm still longbowing you.
Oh, gotcha.
So but it turns out that
myth, and it actually was 19th century British working class insult as kind of a sign of defiance or dismissal. I mean, classic 1980s Rick Mail comedy, Young Ones. Yeah. He was all into giving people the fingers, So that was probably our generation, Lance.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Hey, so other offensive. So it's interesting. So that's kind of the flipping the bird is a universal offensive symbol now, right?
Yeah.
Whereas other symbols are more culturally based. So as an example, if you do that in Italy,
Yeah.
Have you seen that one?
I have.
Well, isn't that sign language as well?
Yeah.
Fuck you.
It does, I think.
I mean, it's fuck you.
Yeah.
Yeah, certainly in Italy.
Yeah.
But it means the same, but it's not quite. It's certainly not as strong. Yeah. It's more dismissive, like you know.
Get out.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're in the Middle East or South Asia, an insult as bad as giving the middle finger would be showing the sole of your shoes or your feet. Highly offensive because it's an impurity thing, right?
Oh, dirty.
So it's dirty.
Yeah.
So that's, if even today, my understanding is if you were to show somebody the sole of your feet or throw a shoe at somebody, that's why sometimes if you throw a shoe at a politician, that is a highly offensive thing to do. So Lance, do not do that.
George W. Bush, eh? Do you see that one?
No.
So he was holding a press conference somewhere and someone literally biffed a shoe at him and he was just like this. He was just
really?
moved. Yeah, he was just like real like
Matrixed it.
Yeah, it was awesome. And everyone was like, that was awesome.
Because I wonder if that's what, because don't the sort of Asian grandma get the shoe out? Like that's their go-to weapon for like spanking a child. I'm pretty sure it's shoe,
that's interesting. You're right.
And then you sort of bang, that's a real sign of disrespect. And it's interesting you said that because through my research on this one, I saw there was some event that took place in the 1970s or something, where a US ship got captured by North Korea, and in the photos, all the US soldiers were, flipping the bird in the photo, but apparently the North Koreans didn't know what it meant, and the Americans told them it's a Hawaiian sign for like good luck.
Loose.
It's like shaka. But then I thought that's so weird. I guess maybe it's different because North Korea, they don't know anything.
Yeah,
they're so cut
they're
off
a little
from
bit. Yeah,
but I was like, how would you not know what flipping the? Is that not like you say? It's such a universal thing.
Yeah. It's more offensive that flipping the bird or the two-finger salute. What's more offensive? Flipping the bird?
Definitely.
So, is it more offensive to be spat at or to be given flip the bird.
It's bad.
That's the worst?
Yeah, you can't get much worse than that.
That's as
pretty
worst as
bad.
you get?
Yeah.
Interesting, eh? So
Yeah.
what about,
What's
some other ones you could give that would be as bad as that?
Actually, if you got punched in the face, would be pretty bad.
Yeah, I think we're moving on.
Yeah,
But
that's
would
from
you-
physical. Yeah, that's.
I think spit's worth. I'd rather get punched in the face.
What if you got flashed?
Yeah.
Or like moon, like if someone
Flip the actual bird.
Because I saw this one where they said it's also because I saw heaps of different ones and I couldn't tell. I went with the Greek being the truth.
Yeah.
But so they're saying is that back in I don't know why, but back then they used to itch their assholes like in Victorian era with the middle finger.
Yeah, okay.
Ooh.
So they're saying if that comes up, then
That's
you know,
why.
that's where it's
Oof.
Have you seen the sign? It's called the fig sign, where you put your thumb between those two fingers.
Like when you steal someone's nose.
Yeah, apparently in Italy or the Balkans, that's again, it's a sexual. I better not be careful what I do.
Hey, watch out!
Anyway,
I'll get pregnant.
So, hey, don't do that when you're next in the Balkans. Would be my
What?
advice.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
Never
I
been.
think
Oh, I
it's
see
called
what
the
you've done
fig
there.
sign.
Ooh.
Yeah, so it's again offensive some places.
I'll
but
never look at my thumb again
clearly
the
not
same
for,
way.
Not for us, right? Because you didn't even know what that was.
Nah.
So, thumbs up in Middle Eastern.
Is that bad?
It used to be.
Oh.
With globalisation,
Yeah.
increasingly not. But if you're a US politician,
Yeah, because that's all they do. That's their go-to.
That's not a good idea.
Yeah.
And then when Trump adds a dance to it,
Yeah,
like he
that-
does this little.
The
He's
real bad
really,
one. That's
yeah.
probably what it all started.
Yeah.
It's all kicked off.
all
Is
kicked
that
off.
dance?
It actually makes
Yeah.
sense, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. Clicking the fingers for some action.
Oh,
It's pretty
wait.
rude, particularly if they're
what do you
older
mean?
than
What do you
you.
mean?
So if you want some service or
Yeah.
you
Oh, I
want
hate
somebody's
that so
attention,
much.
Yeah.
that's really
Yeah,
offensive.
that is quite bad.
I hate that, eh?
Yeah, that is
Yeah.
quite bad.
But how do you get people's attention? So if you're at a cafe,
Yeah.
so one that I go to often
Yeah.
has been a little slack lately.
Okay.
How would you get someone's attention when, like, you've sat there for 10 minutes, you haven't been served?
Yeah.
What do you do?
For me, I just try and make eye contact.
Oh, okay.
So
Like
eye
casual.
contact. Yeah, casual eye contact.
But do you do this one, like trying to get the eye
I
contact?
will after 10 minutes.
Yeah. What about you? What do
Is
you
that one? Yeah. Well, yeah. We steer,
Yeah.
and we've been to that same one.
Yeah.
You know. And,
The cafe, which we will
It's
not speak
interesting
of.
that you
Yeah.
know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Because I've only seen you there once. And you
great
still...
food.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, great food. But
Lovely
You know,
people.
we go there quite a bit.
Oh.
But I think we're on different. We're on different tide lines. 'Cause
Yeah.
You've got that certain locked in time you're there.
I do,
Bang.
actually.
You
Yeah.
know, if you know you're
I
going
like
to see
structure.
Lance. Like if
That's
you know-
where he's there.
Yeah, if Lance owes you money, go to so and so at that time. You know, but you know that's sort of yeah. I don't know. Probably whistling would be pretty bad. Like a
You wouldn't whistle. Like, would
would.
you
Oh,
whistle?
yeah.
if you did whistle at someone like directly.
Yeah, to get attention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like some people take that quite long.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
around the
I
wrong
would
way.
hate
Yeah.
that. Yeah. What do I do? I actually probably get up and just go to the
Yeah,
counter.
exactly. Yeah.
Or I do this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you stare at them long enough, it works.
Or we
Yeah.
wave.
I think it's a universal thing.
Yeah, it's like that guy might want
Yeah,
something.
wave. Look at that. Hey.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Wave.
little wave's fine.
Hey.
But never. I think it's the sounds is the issue. Never
you-
make a sound. Just get up and get it yourself.
Yeah. There is one bird that flips in midair. Guess any guesses? There's one bird.
Kingfisher?
Close.
No, the the hummingbird.
You're correct.
Yeah,
This
The
guy.
hummingbird's
Yeah.
small,
massively mobile.
massively mobile, partly because it flaps its wings 80 times a second, but it's also kind
Wow.
of double jointed in its neck and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it can fly backwards and
Yeah.
flip. So my understanding is it's one of the few birds, if not the only one, you heard it here. You might want
Wow.
to fact check that, but it certainly is a bird that can flip in midair. So
Wow.
go for the hummingbird.
So that hummingbird
Yes.
fact versus the fact that you knew that, I think I'm more impressed with you knowing that than I am that it does it. All right. Anything else on this?
I did see one talking about how birds back in the day supposedly used to land on people's hands. So you'd flick, it'd land on your hands, you'd flick your finger so it would fly off. And
Oh.
I was just curious. I thought, well, that just sounds like rubbish.
Yeah. Got you.
When was the last time you had a bird land on your hand?
It's been ages.
Never.
Yeah. about that long. Yeah.
Never. Yeah.
So there was a theory that could have been it.
Is that you
Flicking the
flick it,
bird.
you-
Flip the bird
yeah,
off your hand.
Flick the bird off
You
your hand.
want to share any stories about flipping the bird at someone?
Oh, yeah, I've had one. It's pretty funny. It's like years and years ago, we're driving back from Pack and Save in the back of the car, and my mum was driving. and I don't know, something had happened. She got cut off in traffic, and my mum's not like a very angry person, but obviously this one fired her up.
Yeah.
And then it was on the motorway coming in from Petone, and then she's flipping the bird off to the sky. Fuck yeah! Like, what are you doing? Like scream, like getting angry as. And then she goes to throw an apple core.
Ooh.
Yeah, crazy. So
Yeah,
like really
like
just
it's
like
not a
taking to a
shoe.
next level. Like instead of a spit, an apple core. and obviously going like 100k. So the apple core is flung back, come back, and it's like sort of stopped midway in the air. And I don't know how the wind current, must have been a big westerly coming in. It's blown straight back in and smashed her in the face. And the other guy's just pissing himself, and it was just one of those ones, couldn't quite get it right,
Yeah,
that's what first comes to mind for me.
I think
That's unfortunate.
I don't think I really use that much.
No, I'm not
You know?
I don't do
I'm
it.
more of a, if I'm really angry,
Just
I'll
say it.
shout it at someone.
Yeah, I'm the same.
Yeah, but road rage situations surely must account for 90% of flipping the bird in New Zealand. You'd imagine.
Yeah. Or I used to drive a scooter. And
What do
if
you
I
mean?
like
Like
a
a
moped,
50-50?
like sort of like a motor 100cc, something
Yeah.
you can get away fast enough, and I would do that, I'd just like smack their mirror in, allegedly.
That's a classic motorbike move.
Yeah,
that
that's
one.
it, yeah.
Oh, I actually chased the guy. He was some form of gang member, banged
Yeah.
into my mirror.
Wow.
So I tried to
You
chase
chased
him.
them?
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
could.
How'd they go?
He just took off. He was in a motorbike, but I was like,
Yeah.
I tried. So I don't know what I would. Well, he's a big dude, so I
That's
was,
how we ended up, yeah.
yeah, probably getting his number and hanging out, getting coffees at this place. Yeah. So
getting them to talk to them about their service.
Yeah. Hey.
Have a strong word.
yeah, this guy's going to change your opinion on whether you're doing a good job.
I think it's less offensive than it used to be, flipping the bird. I think...
Overused has watered it down.
Yeah, I think so. And also just a generation coming up, it's far more casual than it used to be, I think.
Yeah.
I think it can still kind of lead to escalation and aggression, but probably less so than maybe used to.
It's even when it's done, it's more dismissive now. It's more like more of that than an actual like I'm like angry at you kind of thing. So, all right. Anything else in this one?
Are you still using it? I mean...
I don't know. Good question.
Well, as a saying, I'd never use it.
You'd never use it?
No, I'd never
No,
say you flipped the
never.
bird. Pulled the fingers,
never,
yes.
I've used it to describe somebody who participated in the action.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, I flipped the bird.
Yeah, I was going to say that'd probably be like, maybe
No,
like...
I just think
I don't think it'd be a youth thing, though.
No, maybe it's an old person's thing. I'd say, hey, that person just flipped me the bird.
Yeah.
I like how naturally you said that, like it happens every day.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I irritate people.
Yeah, actually.
Have you met me?
Yeah, about 3 times a day I've flipped you the bird, actually.
Yeah, I see.
Okay, so what we're saying is the saying's not offensive in itself. We know the origin as far as the intent behind it, so that's not a shock to anyone. We would still use it because we can't. The saying I wouldn't use, you wouldn't use the saying, you would use the saying, but it's probably still got its place in history. I don't think it's going to go anywhere.
No.
So, and I like the fact that it's universal, like not the saying, but the actual act itself. Like somehow this one sign has gone around the world, which is pretty incredible. So, that's that one.
Back in.
All right, here we go for idiom number 2, and this time it's Jasper's.
Okay, so mine was that's like the pot calling the kettle black.
Yep, nice.
And sort of in further research of it, it was reasonably straightforward, but it did also seem that there was sort of back in the day a bit of a racial connotation to it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, from what I've seen.
What?
Yes, but it was, so forgive me because it seems to originate from the 1620s
Yeah.
Spanish
Yeah.
sort of thing, and the actual translation was the pot addresses the kettle as Colanglera black ass or useless. As a sort of recorded in England soon afterwards. The pot calls the pan a burnt ass, and so it was sort of seen as the pot believes that it is more useful than the kettle because it can boil more water and it is bigger.
Yeah.
But they're both black. And then also another.
Is that what you thought it was when you first heard it?
Yeah, well, that's what it's saying here.
Yeah.
It's on the Spanish. So I didn't really take it as that. I just thought that was 2 cast iron. Sort of that's what I assumed that will be cooked on back then.
Yeah.
In the 1620s.
So it was the soot, right, that made the pots or the kettles black. So they both was sooted.
Yeah, and then and they say this was taken away from the originated actual meaning of it.
Yeah.
But that they sort of another take or perspective that the French had was that the kettle was polished and the pot was still black because it's being boiled.
Yeah.
And that the pot looks at the kettle and sees its own reflection, and so the pot's calling the kettle black, but it's just seeing itself as black, and so obviously it's a term of hypocrisy, isn't it?
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
saying, that's like the pot calling the kettle black, but they're both black.
Yeah,
from
got
being,
you.
Burnt. It didn't seem like there was too much actual racial, like I didn't carry on that
No.
meaning, like I don't use it.
It's good to get that out there
Yeah,
publicly.
just clear it
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
Clear the name.
Yeah.
I'm not here for any of that.
I might delete that bit where you said your disclaimer that you don't believe it, and then just let people keep thinking that you do believe it.
Yeah, perfect, and that's why I brought it up today.
Yeah.
Because I'm a massive raging racist.
That's what I heard, Jesper. Do you use it? Do you use the phrase?
Well, that's what I was thinking about when I chose it, sort of on here, as not so much.
Yeah.
I'd say, that's harsh.
Yeah.
I'd say, oh, that's harsh.
Yeah.
But then, look, I've heard my dad say it, but I wouldn't say, but he doesn't say it, like every single time.
Yeah.
I'd say there's quite a lot of things you can swap it out instead of it's just a lot to say.
Yeah, that's
like
the
calling
issue.
the pot kettle black.
Yeah.
And you can say there's a good chance that you say it wrong as well.
And then you look like a twat.
Yeah, exactly.
You try to prove a point and you lose it in the moment. I would think it often, but I wouldn't then say it. I'm like, I would have that, if something like that arose, I would think it and then just have to carry on with the conversation. But I'd never.
Because the thought in the mind is the hypocrisy piece. So well, you calling it out, but look what you're doing.
Yeah.
That's what's going on in your mind.
Yeah, definitely.
So it's the hypocrisy thing, right? It's in some ways it's a challenge back to the person, but it's not addressing the issue. So it's not a logical response, right? So let's say I say to you, Jesper,
Here we go.
you're a terrible rugby player, and you say back to me, well, that's the kettle calling, or look
That's
at
like,
you.
you see, there's a problem with it.
You can't even say it.
Can't get it out.
Yeah,
that
but
well.
that's not my. So you could come back. Your defence might be
You've never played
that,
rugby
well,
in your
you're a bit
life.
stink at rugby as well, but that's not the point. It doesn't actually address the underlying issue of your performance.
Yeah.
So it's not actually addressing the actual logic or the truism of the statement.
Yeah.
It's an ethics or a. Or
So it's a deflection
Yes, a deflection.
to try and hide the fact that Jasper's not a good rugby player and how he feels about that.
Yes.
So he should say, I am a good rugby player.
Yes.
But it's quite a natural when you've been attacked by someone or challenged by somebody, you often come back with a swing of your own.
Yeah, that's fair.
And often the swing of your own is, well, what about you?
Yeah.
So you often don't address
the issue.
The issue.
Yeah, and because if it's true, you can keep living on and just push it aside.
But it depends on how they deliver it. So if someone just says, if someone blatantly says you're not very good at rugby, one, I'm like, well, it depends who says it, because if you're not good at rugby themselves, then I don't really care. It's like, well, whatever. But also, that's a really, really weird way of saying things. It's like, can you be more specific with your feedback would be helpful. Like, what am I doing wrong on the rugby field that displeases you?
I've got this theory, right?
All right, share it away.
So psychological projection, right? So projection is when you attribute to someone else a trait or a motive or a behaviour that you find uncomfortable to admit in yourself, right? So if I struggle with something, I'd often project it onto somebody else. So here's a classic example, right?
All right, yeah.
So a couple of things. Here's a theory. So people who are on the conservative end of society, so either conservative politicians, right, who really believe in family values, how many of those guys, particularly in the UK it seems, so I might be completely wildly off here, then come back and are accused of adultery or sleeping with a whole bunch of people or found in Jasper's parents' brothel or whatever, right? So are they, but they're espousing family values, and here's another controversial statement.
All right, I like this.
So there used to be a party called the Christian Heritage Party in New Zealand, right, who stood up for godly Christian values. The leader of that, and I stand to be corrected here, was charged with child abuse or certainly with sexual offences.
Yeah.
And so often, but while all the meantime espousing good values, but often there's a projection going on here. So these are the things I'm struggling with. So I'll project them, and so.
But it's like
here's my
hiding in
observation.
plain sight, though.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know about this
So
theory.
it's funny. I get really suspicious of people who are really black and white about moral issues because I wonder, what are you trying to
Hide.
put a defence up against?
Wow.
Does that ever happen for you?
That's quite
I
the
don't know.
theory.
That's
pretty deep, right?
That's pretty full on. Well, I've signed an NDA with the British politicians about visiting my brothel, so I can't quite comment on that part.
Okay.
You know, allegedly.
Yeah, good. That's good. They'll stay in.
Yeah, it's interesting. That's a pretty
Surely not.
So people, I find people who are more socially progressive tend to be hiding less stuff. And
What do you mean socially progressive?
so are more relaxed about or open
Oh,
about.
there's more grey than black and white.
Yeah, open
It's
about.
like, could go, I don't know.
You know, I don't know.
Yeah, okay.
Whatever. So
Yep.
that's a theory.
Yeah, okay, no, I
think
sort
about.
of, now that you say it that way, I sort of do know what you mean. Like, that stuff does come up.
So if someone's really militant
Yeah.
about how
Yeah.
family's really important
Yeah.
and you've got to have only sex within
Yeah.
marriage and
Yeah.
homosexuality is real bad,
Totally.
often, and obviously this isn't the case for everybody, but my observation is people like that can be
Yeah.
projecting.
It's interesting because I mean there is a lot of like. Oh, what about the head of police, right?
Yeah.
He got caught.
Yeah.
You know.
Yep.
Interesting.
And he'd be totally. I always think, but now that you say that, I always think about that. Like they've obviously got children.
Yeah.
So like, what sort of like rules do they have with their kids? You know, like you
Yeah.
can't go outside after 8 or something like that.
Yeah.
And then you find out that whoa, Dad's
This
up to
is
some
why.
pretty crazy stuff upstairs.
If anyone, if anyone knows why, he knows why you can't be going out at 8:00.
You know, that's exactly right. And so it's kind of interesting you say that because at the start I was sort of thinking,
Yeah.
it's pretty,
Yeah.
that's pretty interesting. It's a pretty bold statement to say, like a blanket statement across it. But when you actually sort of like think
There's
about
a
it
pretty
and
good
peel
one.
peel the layer back of the onion, that's there's got to be some good points here because it's
Yeah.
it is like a lot more. I mean, what about the popes? You know, all these priests and stuff like that. You know, like sort of
So I don't know about the Pope per se, but
Yeah.
priests
You're not
have
the
a
Pope.
bad
Yeah,
rap,
sorry, not
right?
the Pope. The Pope's a good dude. He's clear.
Right, is
As
it
I
clear?
know.
You were okay with
As I
that?
know of, allegedly. And but yeah, those priests, you know, they go pretty crazy, and you'd have to say like that is
And-
that is a pretty. They are a pretty pinnacle in terms of like you know, in
Yeah.
terms of getting to.
They got some rules.
Well, to one side of you know,
Yep.
one side
Yep.
like becoming a priest is, you know,
You should-
you've given up a lot.
Yeah.
Or so they say.
Yep.
You know.
Yep.
And then it all comes out that whammo,
Yep.
Whammo.
you're into it. So you know that's like calling the pot black.
Yeah.
The
Hey, it's hard
black,
to
the
say.
kettle bottle black.
Let me help you with some other ways you can say that, right?
Nice.
Pot meet kettle.
Yeah,
Oh,
I saw
yeah,
that
yeah,
one.
yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
saw that one.
That's a bit pot kettle.
Oh yeah.
So you
No, I
can
don't
work
like
on
that one
those.
much.
It's a bit shorter. So maybe
Yeah.
pot meet kettle. That's
Yeah.
quite nice.
Yeah.
Quite catchy.
Yeah. Pot.
Pot meet
I would
kettle.
say,
Yeah,
how's
pot
the
meat
pot
kettle,
and
yeah.
the kettle going for you?
Ooh.
Yeah, I think
That's a good one.
I've even said that before.
Have you?
Yeah, and then just looked.
And
Flip the bird.
Is it time to change up it? Because obviously, you know, you walk through the warehouse and Briscoes and stuff like that, and there's brown, there's white pots, there's green pots, there's
It's a
blue
melting
pots.
pot of
It's a
different
melting
pots.
pot.
Yeah.
It's totally
It's a melting pot.
It's a melting.
That's beautiful, man.
It's Lance. I just stole that one, TM. Yeah. But yeah, there's pink kettles, there's yellow kettles. Like, is it
Yeah.
just the
It's time to
times
move
have
on.
changed.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of kettles, I was talking to somebody in this office who boils their eggs in a kettle. How do we feel about that?
What about those people? I'll come back to that. What about those people at
hotel
hotels
rooms?
that boil their underwear in the
What?
jug? Have you heard about that?
That's ridiculous.
Oh, they wash their
Wouldn't it shrink?
they wash their oh, that's a good
They
question.
wash your undies in the kettle.
Yeah, so you got to watch that. So like, do what you want with that information next time you're at a hotel.
But I even think eggs. Do you know where
Sorry,
those
back to
eggs have
eggs.
been?
The eggs.
Yeah.
What?
Where they come
Well,
from, mate?
I do.
Are we putting those in the kettle and then having a cup of tea?
But yeah,
I
eat them
don't
anyway.
Yeah, maybe the boil sterilises them.
Yeah, well, I thought that was only a thing in like prison. I thought that's what you do. You
Well, boil the eggs in.
Well, you put your rice in the kettle,
Ah.
and then you know put the hot on, and then
Oh,
so,
serious?
yeah. So I could assume you do it with eggs as well.
I've never heard that. I've never been to prison.
I
Yeah.
I do remember. So I used to work at this place who used to house men who were a little bit in and out of prison.
Yeah.
And we had to change our light bulbs to get frosted light bulbs. because they were taking them off to do drugs off them, and they wouldn't do it if they're frosted.
Oh.
Yeah, because of the fumes and whatnot. So that was.
Oh, gotcha. So that's where they draw the line.
Yeah, it's like this.
So the fumes from the frosting,
Yeah.
but the fumes from the peas. Okay.
The complaints we got the day we changed all the light bulbs, the suggestion box is rife with letters. So, yeah, what's going on here? Anyway.
Okay. Oh, that's interesting.
I was just in Samoa recently. Oh, you too.
Yeah, we went.
Did you find a whole lot of bugs in the jug?
No.
Oh, you probably would have had them in there. I emptied
didn't
it all
actually
out.
have a cup of coffee in there.
Oh, didn't you?
No.
I checked it out. It was full of about 3 or 4 bugs, and I don't know what the bugs were, but it was horrific. But my underwear did not get washed in them. So.
I'm very encouraged to hear that, Lance.
You're welcome. Be a nice little tea strainer. All right. Well, we're saying it's okay to use. We quite liked it. We wouldn't say it because it's too long, and that seems to be the theme with a lot of these. But it's non-offensive, and it's certainly going to stay around for a while, we think. Yeah? All right.
Yep.
There's that one. All right, here we go. Idiom number 3, and that's my one, and that is happy as a sandboy.
Happy as a sand boy.
Yep. Have you guys heard of this before?
I have, and my natural inclination is to recall a little when it's said. It just...
Why?
It has racist overtones in my mind for some reasons.
Yeah.
So I will go, "Whew, I'm not sure I should be saying that.
Yeah.
Is that your experience?
Yeah, because I say it a lot. Because I
Do
do.
you?
Yeah, and it's because of that reaction. Like, I know people think that it's racist, and I'll just like, will say, and they'll look at you sideways, and I'm like,
Yeah.
and then I'll carry on.
So where's it from?
So it's from the 19th century Britain, and it's basically around the lines of when you go to bars and things like that, they used to put sand down.
Sand.
Yeah, sand. And it's to basically absorb the filth on the ground.
That is
So what was the words?
Nasty.
It was body fluids
What?
and beer and things like that.
Right.
And spit probably as well.
Yeah, back to your
When they're
spitting.
offending
Man,
everybody.
you've got a real thing about
Hey,
spitting.
that is disgusting.
Yeah, it's gross. And they just found it was easier to clear it out each night and bring in more sand than do something about the cleaning.
Scrub the floors.
Yeah. Happy as a sandboy because sometimes they would get paid with beer.
Who?
And the
people
sand boys.
So there's people who brought the sand in and out were the sand boys.
Yep, so they were called the sand boys, and they were always generally happy because it's a pretty chill job. Bring
Is that
sand
why they
in.
were happy?
No, because they were drunk. And the job wasn't too arduous. It was like, you didn't have to put a lot to it. It's just like, turn up, do this, get drunk. Same again tomorrow, shall we? All right.
Yeah, I'd never heard of it at all.
Oh, really?
You've
And
never
so that's
even...
when you put that sort of on that thing, I'd never
Wow.
ever heard of it, and I thought the first thing which came to my mind is I went, there probably isn't many happy sandboys at the moment.
Wait, what's a sandboy?
So
Oh.
that's what I thought. I thought this is like a total. I thought this is like a total racial. I thought, whoa, Lance has really gone like left field here. Like I thought we were meant to keep this, and the brief was like pretty all good.
Yeah, pretty family friendly.
You know, pretty family friendly. I went, wow. I said, I'm pretty sure that's not even a saying.
Lance just dived into the dark web.
Yeah.
So then I looked into that, and I was like, okay, it is a saying. And then so I saw that whole.
Wow.
Yeah, they came and sold them sand. And then I also saw that they would also be also another side of it was they're happy because sometimes the cheeky sandboys would cut open the sacks and they'd fill it with other like filling stuff, which wasn't as expensive as sand. So they'd make double the price and go shout to the next bar and use less, sand.
Wow.
So they were happy with that because they were
Yeah.
scammers. And so that's why I resonated when you said that. When you said it feels sort of a bit like, whoa, that's another. I was like, wow.
Hang on, this might not make it, but
Yeah. We think it's racist for different reasons.
however, no.
And-
Hang
what you
on.
mean?
So the racist bit is sand boy.
As in people in
Who live in desert places.
Yeah, desert places.
So I've never heard that.
Yeah.
Because the other way it could have been racist is
Do you want me to say it?
you say it.
Okay, so growing up, there's
Gollywalks.
yeah, but also
Sambo.
something
Yeah,
called
yeah,
Little
yeah.
Black Sambo.
Yeah. Yeah.
And-
Read the books.
Yeah, which is weird, right?
Yeah.
We are okay talking about these things because it's like this is what it was, right?
Yeah, there's no
and
problem,
so
yeah.
I thought it was to do with that.
Yeah,
And
interesting.
so that when we were like Samboys, happy, that's what we associated. So racist, but for different reasons. Mm-hmm. So that's quite, and I think that's a generational thing, right?
Because that was my recoil.
Yeah.
Was that meaning that the kind of the blackface thing?
Yeah.
Or the gollywog thing,
Yeah.
which is not cool, right?
Yeah,
and so
yeah,
I was going,
yeah.
oh, you can't say that.
And I'd never say it until I found out so I never said it. I just heard it and went, ooh. And then when I researched it like years ago, I was like, Okay, it's okay to say.
So you say, so even though we had that, you can't say that, Lance.
Yeah.
You say it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Because you say it partly because you think people are think it's racist.
Yeah,
but
but
you know
it's
not.
But I want people to
So
be.
you're just stirring.
Yeah.
It is, yeah, a little bit, probably. I just think people should be more educated.
Yeah, well, it's a good way of, it's a good way of
Particularly
sort of
around
like,
18th century pub practice. In Wellington, they had the pub called the Bangalore Polo Club.
Oh,
If you
yeah.
remember
Oh,
that?
yep.
yeah, it was,
It was that peanut shells on the floor.
Yeah.
Which I guess that's
cool,
old
eh?
school, but that's kind of fun,
Yeah.
right?
Didn't-
You just eat your peanuts and you chuck the things on the floor.
I couldn't do it to start with.
Which I think it was kind of an historic thing as well in terms
Yeah.
of what you put on the floor of pubs, right?
Yeah.
And at the end of the night, they sweep them up.
I used to feel too naughty.
Yeah.
So do you know where that came from?
No.
So in Singapore, there's this bar. What was it called? But it was like where they invented the Singapore sling, and they did the peanuts.
Oh, is that where it came from?
Yeah, Raffles Hotel in Singapore. Yeah, so that's where.
And it's kind of a high-class hotel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
I always thought it was like a Spanish tapas thing.
Oh.
You know, they have like, if you go, I don't know if you've been to Spain, but in Spain,
I have.
if you walk into a restaurant, you know, you have the peanuts, they put a shell of peanuts and you just smash them on the table.
Yeah.
And it's all covered in like a film, like a tape.
Yeah.
And then after you're done, they just come and untape the thing and
Yes, sir.
put it all up like that and then
that's
wrap it up
cool.
like a rubbish bag. But you
Yeah.
can just make the mess all over the
Yeah,
table,
yeah.
but it's just got that film over top.
Oh, that's cool.
So that's what I
No.
thought. But yeah, it must have been like it's transcended through
'Cause
continents.
Yeah, that's so. Would it be soaking up much?
What? The peanut
The
shell or
peanuts.
the sand?
Well, both. That's quite
Kinda sound like
disgusting.
cat litter, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
But who's
yeah.
because they literally will urinate on it.
Oh,
And so the reason why it's stopped, because I looked at why it stopped basically. Why are they not still putting sand down? And basically for hygiene, like they discovered cleaning products, and that would.
and toilets, perhaps?
Yeah, like why are you just?
But wouldn't it get like sort of like, you have to think it's sort of floorboards, you know, it would get
Yeah.
stuck in the floorboard cracks of these old English bars.
Yep,
Or, you
because
know,
they didn't
pubs
have
back
the
then.
stuff down them. They didn't have the.
Yeah, it wouldn't have had any grout or anything
Yeah.
like that, and it would have fallen down into the cellars down below. And,
Yeah, just gross.
But I guess maybe if you just have enough human bodily fluid that it'll gunk up between and you get your own. Maybe that's how grout was invented. It was
Human
sand
grout.
and human bodily fluid.
Now you said you want grout in your bathroom. Can you? Which kind would you like?
Yeah.
Would you like
And what
human
bodily
grout?
fluid do I
Yeah,
need to
yeah,
use? Yeah.
We're gonna need a lot.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So
Different viscosity levels.
I actually need to do more grouting at my house, so that's
Oh, yeah?
now an option.
There's
I know a guy.
I need to get the team around.
There's some labour issues around this saying as well, isn't it? How cool, and it's not that cool to pay your workers in beer. Well, maybe they still do that. Maybe because if you do a cashie, if you're a
cash
trader, you
jobs,
do a
right?
cashie.
It's true.
You're still getting paid in beer, aren't you?
It's true.
But we wouldn't say that's a good idea
Oh,
to
absolutely
the
not.
IRD.
We would
No.
not support that practice whatsoever.
No.
No.
I looked up the happiest kinds of careers in New Zealand. So
Nice.
people that are most.
Yeah.
Am I satisfied with their jobs?
Yeah, yeah. Do you guys want to have
So
a
do a
guess? What
guess?
some are? Yeah.
Yeah,
I've got
okay.
the top 10 list,
Okay, and so
and I'll tell you if they're on there.
and they get paid?
But
There's no charity work involved?
no charity working.
Okay.
So this is
they-
paid
so-
employment.
Yep. And
Happiest people.
and top 10 most contented. There we go. Professions in New Zealand.
I'm thinking early childhood care.
Yes,
Really?
And
'cause
teachers.
They love kids.
and
Yeah.
teachers. Yep.
Okay.
And yeah, because it's like the satisfaction of. So it's not about the pay. It's the satisfaction of what you're giving back to the community.
Hospo.
No.
No, that I surely hate it.
Nah.
Priests?
Hate it.
Priests?
That's a callback from earlier.
Oh, God.
Pilots.
Yeah,
Oh,
pilots
great
is.
one.
Yep.
Great one.
And you know why? Because of autonomy. They basically just get to do. So
Yeah.
air marine transport professionals, high autonomy, clear role boundaries, strong professional identity. People love them. Let me give you the list. Firefighters, strong sense of, which is interesting at the moment,
Yeah,
but
boy.
strong sense of purpose, high teamwork, and you know they're kind of buddy buddies, and a lot of public respect.
Yeah, they
right?
do.
And they've got a calendar.
If I saw you walking along the street, I'd probably say you're a firefighter.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Take
you know-
it as a compliment, I think.
what I have thought about is
Particularly with those
how do we
slaps on.
how do we feel about a financial advisor's calendar?
Yeah, I knew that was coming. Yeah.
Thoughts?
Probably, yeah, no.
And there'll be a lot of blue blazers and tan pants. And then what I was thinking is in my month, I would just dress up like a fireman. So
Oh, so you're saying you'd do like a photo shoot for like a calendar?
yeah, but of financial advisors.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and then
That'd be helpful. So what else?
anyway, sorry, firefighter.
Can we join and do like a recruitment
Yep.
one as well?
Yep.
We'll come in and we'll do like October to December.
Oh, that'd be actually.
You know, let's work on that. We'll give it to our clients.
I do actually want to make a calendar, but it's, you know, when people are in the rain in Wellington, they pull that face of like, oh, I'm in the rain. Every
Yeah.
time you walk out in a big storm or the wind, everyone pulls a funny
Brace
like,
themselves.
Yeah, I want to put a calendar of people's faces. And,
Oh, I think
and
you're going to say that's
nice.
what everyone will think when we give them that calendar.
not only does the rain now affect them, just looking at this will do it too. Okay, you got firefighters, you got Defence Force, so including the Navy, Army and Air Force, because it's like strong, shared identity, clear structure, social belonging. You got the teachers at 3. We've got air, marine transport, which we talked about the flighters, self-employed tradespeople. We've got farmers and agricultural. We've got health and fitness professionals, like the gym people. Because of like direct positive impact, and you can see the changes in people. You know, kind of like what you're doing with your teammates, that kind of thing. It's high satisfaction. It's tangible. Early childhood, technicians and skilled technical specialists, so like engineers and things like that, IT specialists. And then 10 is public sector service roles.
Okay.
So because of stability and
Yeah.
predictable
I mean,
hours.
You could debate a whole lot of those, but in terms of I get why they're put.
Yeah, it's more like the meaning behind it, right? So, but I would put, here we go, professionals that look good on paper, but score low on contentment. We've got as lawyers, senior corporate managers, and finance professionals. And it's because, there's high income potentially, but below average satisfaction once stress and hours they work are considered. So it looks great, look at what you do, but you do some crazy hours and it's really quite stressful, but it can look great, like being like a finance bro.
Yeah.
Of which you are one.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Some would say the most bro. All right.
So happy to send boys are kind of a Commonwealth saying because it started in England, right? So if you said that in America or other lots of places, they'd be going, what are you talking about?
Oh, true.
Happy as a clam is more North American. Have you heard that?
Yep,
Yeah, but
heard that a
I
lot.
still don't get it.
Yeah, me either.
Like, why?
I think it's because maybe when a clam opens, it looks like it's a mouth.
Oh,
Could
so
do.
it's more
Happy?
like that. Okay, then that makes sense.
That's
What
how I always looked
about
it up.
what about Australia, UK? Happy as Larry.
Yep.
Have you heard that?
Yeah,
Yep.
but who is Larry?
Well, that's
Yeah.
a very good question.
Yeah.
Who is Larry? That's one to look
Is he
up.
still happy?
Yeah.
Do you guys reckon you would enjoy being a sandboy? If you got paid the same as you get paid now,
Yeah.
do you think you could deal with just turning up?
I pretty much do it anyway.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
fair
pretty
enough.
much labouring,
Out of the
isn't it,
three of
really?
us, you're the closest to a
Yeah, I'd be the
sandboy.
closest to a sandboy. Yeah. Spraying bodily fluid everywhere.
Yeah, that you probably should stop.
yeah, that could probably get in quite a bit of
That
trouble.
part of
Yeah.
the job description. Don't do it.
Yeah.
Was there anything else to add on this guy?
No,
I'm not saying it.
Yeah, I'm out now. Like
Yeah?
before, I was
No.
real confident. I loved
Yeah.
it, but I didn't think about sand.
Yeah, well, I'd never say it. Well, I've never heard of it.
Yeah.
So I'd never say it regardless. But
Yeah.
and I think if someone said that to me, I would literally be thinking it was racial.
Yeah, that's
For me,
interesting,
that there's
eh?
just no other way. I'd think that's
I'm okay with it being. No, I'm not happy with it now. I'm like,
Hey,
oh.
this is the first one. We've changed Lance's opinion.
Yeah,
on.
I've always been like, I don't want to say it because it's too long, or it's like,
yeah.
But this one, I think you might have turned me. So there we go. I'm a new man. So
So we might not be using this one,
no.
Wow.
even though the origin was
Fine.
Yeah.
completely fine.
Yeah, maybe I. Ooh.
Have you ever had one on here which wasn't, the origin was not good at all?
My favourite. Oh no, it was fine as well. Claptrap was my absolute favourite.
That's a great one. You ever heard of that?
It
Claptrap.
sounds like a sex
What's it
worker
meant to
who's
mean?
got. Yeah, it's when you know clickbait at the moment, like so the idea of like tricking someone into watching something, but in the theatre in the oldie timey days, it would be tricking the crowd to clap.
Yeah.
So the same idea, and it almost kind of woke them up. So we're doing the show, then you'd say something or do something that didn't necessarily fit with what you were talking about in the play, but it'll make the crowd clap and applaud,
Yeah.
and then you're back, so it's like a clap trap.
Yeah,
clap
gotcha.
so like clickbait really,
Yeah.
but in the theatre. So
Yeah.
But most of the sayings we've been using have historic origins that are pretty legit.
Yeah.
And that's kind of...
The pot one that you said is pretty close. That's the closest to teetering on.
Yeah, well, that's what I saw, just sort of the Spanish stuff. But then again, you never know with old Wikipedia as people are editing it and
that's
stuff
right.
like that, you know. So, but that claptrap's a funny one.
Yeah, it's my favourite.
I literally thought, I was like, oh yeah, I knew her.
Yeah. I changed your sheets.
Yeah, she's next door.
Yeah. All right, on that, we are done for this evening. Thank you, Jasper, for being here.
Oh, it's been a pleasure.
You
Enjoyed it.
will get a call back for sure.
This is great.
I've enjoyed
and I'll
this.
come back with a lot more.
And Brendan, we'll talk about your weight next time.
I'd love
chicken.
that.
A progress
Bring us
report.
scales.
Yeah, we'll do a bit of a BMI chicken.
Yeah.
I
On
started
that.
something here.
Even, I might not even wait till the next time we do one of these, just when we have lunch.
Could
I
you?
might just be like slowly putting your food away from you,
I'd love that.
things like that. And I will tell no one else in the office what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And they can just figure it out.
Or a shock collar.
Yep.
every time he goes for a fork.
Forks are a great conductor of electricity too, so this is
Yeah.
going to be a problem for you. So
Yeah.
anyway, there's going to be food everywhere. So that's us for the next little while.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching. If you've made it this far, thanks again, Jasper.
Yeah.
Thanks again, Brendan. Until we meet again, goodbye.